Hello, everyone, and welcome. Firstly, thank you so much all for taking out the time for this session and giving us the opportunity of reaching such brilliant, aspiring students, or more so, the architects of future. We truly appreciate your presence and hope you stick through us throughout the webinar because we have a lot for you to uncover. So, today we'll be delving into the topic and giving you insights on how you can maximize your SNAP score. And we'll also be sharing quick revision tactics that actually work. So, please feel free to type your queries in the chat box as we move along, and we'll address as many possible during the Q&A towards the end. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, joining in today with me, my wonderful co hosts, Noshin and Ronak. So I'll begin by telling you a little about myself. I am Abhya Pathania. I'm born and brought up in New Delhi. I am currently pursuing my first year of MBA at SIDTM Pune. And prior to this, I have done my bachelor's degree in BTech Computer Science. And as a fresher, I chose to pursue an MBA because while my engineering background gave me a strong technical foundation, I realized the growing importance of combining technology with digital management, and which is why I decided to join SIDTM. And I'm excited to start this journey with you all as well. So that's all about me. Now, I would like Nosheen to please introduce herself.
Thank you, Abhya. Hello, everybody. I am Nausheen Rahman, and I'm a first year MBA student at SIDTM. So, I come from a BCom honors background, and I'm a fresher. I have explored marketing through internships, which really sparked my interest in digital marketing, and it helped me learn how to grow and build brands. So, this is also one of the reasons why I joined SIDTM because I wanted to deepen my understanding of how marketing, technology, and strategy come together to create meaningful digital experiences. SIDTM has also given me the opportunity to learn management along with technology, which is exactly what industries are demanding at this moment. I'm really excited to be a part of this webinar today, and I hope I'm able to share my experiences with all of you. Now, I would like Ronak to take over and introduce himself.
Thank you, Noshin. Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to be here today. My name is Ronak Agrawal. I was born and brought up in Bangalore, and I completed my BCom in Business Analytics from St. Joseph's College of Commerce. After graduation, I worked for 3 years at Deutsche Bank as a financial analyst. Currently, I'm pursuing my MBA here at SIDTM because I've always been fascinated by how technology drives business decisions. I wanted to move from just executing processes to understanding them deeply, the why behind decisions, not just the how. That's what led me here. I'm genuinely glad to be with all of you today, and I look forward to this session. Not just to speak, but to listen, interact, and hopefully add value to your decision making process. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Nosheen and Ronak. So, before we move ahead, I want to show you how you can stay connected with us beyond this webinar. So, on the screen now, you will see a QR code for our Telegram channel and our YouTube channel. Please follow for regular updates and announcements. And also, if you have any questions or doubts about the process, feel free to reach out to us. And our admission team email is provided below, and you can write to us anytime for help and clarifications. And moving on to the next slide, we have a quick announcement for you all. The Branding and Admission Committee of SIDTM will be traveling to 7 cities: Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Jaipur, and Delhi as a part of SimConnect, our aspirant meet and greet initiative. It's a great opportunity to meet us in person, interact with alumni, and get your queries answered, receive guidance for the GEPI process. And this is your chance to meet us. And you'll also see a QR code on your screen. Feel free to scan and register to be a part of the SimConnect event in your city. So, moving ahead to the next slide, let me quickly talk about SNAP. So, what is SNAP, right? SNAP is Symbiosis National Level MBA entrance exam that we all know. And what makes it stand out is how fast and efficient it is. Unlike other exams that feel never ending, SNAP is just 1 hour focused on logic, speed, and smart thinking. So, no unnecessary complications, no overwhelming sections. Plus, you get up to 3 attempts, and the best score counts. so which automatically reduces pressure, right? And honestly, if you are someone who prefers a balanced test, one that's challenging but not exhausting, SNAP is definitely worth giving. And now let's understand how the SNAP exam is structured. So, moving on to the next slide, the SNAP exam is divided into three main sections, that is general English, analytical and logical reasoning, and the quantitative and DI section. So, out of the total 60 multiple choice question, 15 questions are from general English section, 25 are from analytical and logical reasoning, and 20 questions are from quant. And we all know that each correct answer gives you plus one marks, while each incorrect answer results in a deduction of 0.25 marks. And the unanswered questions do not attract negative marking. So, as for the difficulty, generally the GE section, which is General English section, tends to be moderate to moderately difficult, and the reasoning section is easy to moderate, and the quant and DI section lies around moderate level, but the exact difficulty can vary depending on the test slot. So it varies according to the year and which slot you are going. So in short, the SNAP exam tests balance of language skill, reasoning ability, numerical data analysis aptitude. Because of the negative marking, it's important to attempt only those questions you are reasonably sure about. So accuracy, smart time management, strategic attempts across all three sections will go along towards a good score, right? So now that we have looked up, at the overall structure of SNAP, let's zoom in one of the most important yet often underestimated part, that is verbal ability section. And now I'll hand it over to Nosheen to explain this in detail. Over to you, Nosheen.
So now I will be providing you a quick run through the verbal ability and the logical reasoning section. So let us begin with verbal ability. This pattern is based on last year's SNAP trends and previous year's analysis. In verbal ability, you can expect a mix of around 15 questions covering topics like grammar, parajumbles, reading comprehension, even though it is rare, vocabulary, idioms and phrases, and basic error spotting. So the good part about this section is that most of the questions they're direct and they are fact based. So here speed matters more than deep analysis. I would also like to provide you quick tips for this section. So try to skim and quickly identify the main idea of any passage or question if reading comprehension comes. You should learn how to prioritize your questions. Attempt the direct and factual questions first, like the grammar, vocabulary, and parajumbles, then move on to the slightly trickier ones. Focus on vocabulary. Words and idioms are frequently tested. So revise the common ones and answer vocabulary based questions confidently. You can score easy marks there. Overall, this is a very high scoring section, and if you stay calm and pick the easy questions, you'll be able to score a lot of marks. Next, coming on to the logical reasoning section. Again, based on the last year trends in SNAP analysis, you can expect a wide variety of question types here, ranging from coding, decoding, number series, syllogisms, clocks, calendars, puzzles, assumptions, analogies, blood relations, and more. So this section typically has 25 questions, and the difficulty level of this section is quite moderate. But because you have limited time, decision making becomes really important here. So here are some quick tips to handle this section. Categorize your questions, identify the type instantly, whether it is coding, decoding, puzzle, series, etc., and attempt the one that you feel that you are strongest in. Play with your strengths. Quick decision making also becomes very important. If you feel like a question is very time consuming, skip it. Don't get stuck on it and return later. Spending too long on one puzzle can cost you marks. Be mindful of what you're reading because LR questions also depend upon small clues. So read the instructions very carefully and understand exactly what is being asked in the question. Overall, this section rewards small selection and speed. So go for the easiest and most scoring questions first. Now, I would like Ronak to take over and walk you through the quant section and also share some quick tips to help you prepare better for the SNAP exam.
Thank you, Nosheen. This section, quantitative data interpretation and data sufficiency, is all about speed with clarity. The easiest way to gain an advantage here is to build familiarity with formulas. If you have basic formulas, percentage, fraction, squares, cubes, and shortcuts at your fingertips, you automatically reduce your solving time. A small habit like revising a formula sheet every day can make this section feel lighter during the exam. When it comes to data interpretation, don't start solving immediately. Take the first 10 to 15 seconds to scan the entire set. Usually, you will find that set two questions are quick and the remaining ones take time. Pick the quick ones first. Snap rewards smart selection. The same applies to quant. If a calculation is too long or you can't find a direction quickly, skip it and come back to it later. Looking at the topic wise distribution, concepts like percentage, profit and loss, modern maths, simple interest, compound interest, averages, time and work, and numbers usually contribute multiple scoring questions. On the other hand, topics like logs and coordinate geometry may have one question each. So prepare them, but don't get stuck in the exam. Overall, the approach in this section with the mindset of picking the right question instead of trying to solve everything. If you know your formulas well, scan smartly and avoid heavy calculation. This can become one of your highest scoring areas in Snap. Coming to the next slide, the golden rules of Snap. Snap is not just about solving more, it's about solving smart. You need attempts, yes, but only when your accuracy stays about 70%. So game is not in to attempt everything, but to attempt very wisely. Many aspirants try to finish the entire paper, but Snap rewards people who pick the right questions. In 60 minutes, decision matters more than knowledge. During revision and mock, train your mind to identify three things: when to skip, when to guess, and when to eliminate options. When to skip. If a question looks lengthy or you need more than a minute to even get a direction, skip it. You can always come back if time allows, but don't get stuck to it. When to guess. If you can narrow down options to two or you have a logical hunch, take a calculated guess, but not a blind guessing, but an informed guessing. When to use elimination. This works best in verbal and reasoning. Strike out what definitely looks wrong, even if you don't know the answer fully. Eliminating increases your odds. Snap is a paper of decisions. The smarter you attempt, the more you score. Thank you. Over to you, Abhya.
Thank you, Ronak. So, before we wrap up, we'd like to share a few key takeaways. So, let me start by talking about my own experience. So, when I was preparing for SNAP, I realized that it's not about solving every question, but about playing to your strength. Often, the exam becomes more about smart selection, speed, strategy, than perfection. So, rather than sticking to one single tough question for too long, it's smarter to move on and tackle the one you know very well. So focus on attempting 40 to 45 smart, high accuracy questions rather than chasing all 60, right? And start by scanning the paper quickly and pick all the easy questions first. For me, LR is the most scoring section, and so prioritize topics like series, coding, decoding, directions, blood relation, and quant is usually arithmetic heavy. So revise percentage, ratio, speed, time, distance, and basic algebra. Whereas verbal is dominated by vocabulary and grammar. So work on idioms, sentence correction, and parajumbles. And the key trick is never to get stuck. If a question takes more than 20 seconds, skip and return later. Practice with at least 15 to 20 mocks and spend an hour analyzing each one to your understanding, because what is important here to know and understand your weak areas. On the exam day, start with the strongest section. And it is very important to maintain momentum in the first 10 minutes. Keep your accuracy around 70 to 75%. And what is the most important and the key element here is that use elimination for intelligent guessing. Remember, SNAP is not about solving everything, it's about staying fast, calm, and strategic. So that is it from my side. Now I'll hand it over to Ronak to share his experience and tips.
Thank you, Abhya. For me, the toughest part of Snap exam was the time pressure. 60 question in 60 minutes leaves almost no room to get stuck. To tackle this, time mocks are the real training ground, not just solving it, but solving it under pressure. You should know how those 60 minutes feel, not just how those 60 questions look. The second tip is learn quick methods, especially for the QA section and the LR section. Little tricks for percentage, ratios, squares can save 2 to 3 minutes across the paper, which can change your score noticeably. If you understand the paper, practice smart, and keep calm during the exam, Snap becomes very score friendly. Believe me, it's a game of decisions, not stress. Thank you. Over to you, Naushin, to share your insights.
Thank you, Ronak and Abda. So before we wrap up, I just want to share a bit of my own experience with the SNAP exam. For me, the biggest game changer was staying calm and composed during the test. SNAP is all about speed, accuracy, and smart decision making. So managing your time here becomes very important. Playing to your strengths is also important, just like Abhay and Ronak mentioned. So what really helped me was giving regular mocks with a timer and practicing how to switch between questions very quickly. I used a simple bucket approach. In the first round, I solved only the questions that I was very confident about. I did not allow myself to get stuck on any one question. Once that round was done, I went back to the start and skimmed through the paper again to pick up the medium level questions that I could attempt next. This strategy ensured that I did not lose marks just because I was spending too long thinking on one particular question. At this point in your preparation, I would strongly recommend you to focus on revision, strengthen the topics that you are already good at, and avoid starting anything completely new. It will only create unnecessary pressure at the last moment. Also, before we end, I have a quick announcement for you. Our branding and admissions committee at SIDTM will be visiting 7 different cities, that is Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Jaipur and Delhi for SimConnect, which is our aspirants meet and greet program. You will get the opportunity to interact with us in person, meet our alumni, get your doubts clarified and receive guidance for the GEPI process. We are now displaying a QR code, so make sure to scan it and register if you would like to join us in your city. We are also open for questions now. I can already see a lot of questions coming in. So, coming on to the first question, how should I divide my 60 minutes across sections? Abhya, would you like to take that question?
Yeah, sure, Noshin. So I'll take that question. So, speaking from my own experience, what worked really well for me was keeping the verbal section very tight. So, try to spend only 7 to 8 minutes max because most questions are direct and don't require that deep analysis. So, this gave more space for reasoning and LR, where I spent around 20 to 23 minutes. And since LR has a wide variety of question types, so you need at least 20 to 23 minutes for that section. But for personally speaking, from my experience for quant, I kept the largest chunk close to 30 minutes because calculation can take a bit longer. So that was my strategy. And if you feel comfortable to start LR first before verbal, so you could do that as well. So that depends person to person, but according to me, this really worked well. So on to the next question. I can see one question. What are the high yield topics that one must revise? So Ronak, would you like to take this one?
Can I take this question?
Yeah, sure, Nosheen.
All right, thank you. So, from the last 3, 4 years of SNAP analysis, these are the topics that carry the highest weightage, and I think should be your top priority at this moment. So, from quants, you can revise arithmetic, time, speed, distance, profit and loss ratio, simple interest, compound interest, and basic algebra like quadratic equations. From logical reasoning, I would recommend you to go to series, coding, decoding, blood relations, analogies, and arrangement kind of questions. From verbal ability, go through grammar rules, idioms and phrases, and vocabulary. So while you revise just these few topics, it will cover almost 60 to 70% of your paper. This is what I would like to recommend you for the last moment. With this, I would like to come to the third question. Is it possible to clear SNAP with only 15 days of serious preparation? Abhya, would you like to take that ahead or Ronak, anybody?
Okay, so sure, I'll take that question. So honestly speaking, yes, it is absolutely possible. SNAP is not really a very syllabus heavy exam. It's more about strategy and speed. And because the syllabus overlaps so much with CAT and other MBA entrance tests, so most of you have already covered the basic without realizing it, right? So if you use the next 15 days smartly, by giving mocks, I think it's not that difficult. And focus if you will focus on your strength and revise the high frequency topics that appear every year, you can see a big jump in your score. So I mean, these last few days really matter a lot, and I feel like a sharp, focused revision strategy can genuinely push you into a very competitive percentile. So do not think that you cannot track it in last 15 days or something might not happen. So this is from my side. So on to the next question. Which section should I revise in the last few days? Ronak and Noshi?
Uh, I'll take up this. In the last few days, focus the most on the areas that give you the maximum returns with the minimum effort. For most students, that's the quants basics and the verbal reasoning patterns. In quants, revise formulas, percentage, ratios, time, speed, distance, and quick shortcuts. These boost both speed and accuracy. In verbal section, go through the grammar rules, para jumbles, and common question types. LR is usually manageable if you have practiced throughout the section. So the final day should go into tightening concepts that appear again and again. Basically, revise the sections where small improvements can instantly add marks to your score. Thank you.
I would like to take this question up because I've been seeing it a lot right now. What should I do on the exam day morning? So this is something very important. I would like to give what suggestions from what I did. Basically, on the exam morning, I would suggest you not to overload yourself with heavy concepts. Do not start giving mocks or do not start practicing quants or LR questions. That will just create more panic and anxiety. So just stay calm and composed. Don't be stressed or panic. Do a light revision of your quant formulas, go through shortcuts only, idioms and phrases, revise that, and you can just see a few common question types if you feel like you should do it. Otherwise, don't stress yourself. Keep it very simple, stay relaxed, and go there with a clear mind. And if you're prepared, and if you've prepared so well so far, you will do absolutely fine. Trust yourself in this. So yes, with this, I would like to say all the best to everybody, and I'm pretty sure that everybody is going to do well, and we hope to see some of you on the campus very soon.
So with that, we have come to the end of today's session. So thank you so much everyone for sticking with us throughout this webinar. We genuinely hope we were able to give you practical tips and clarity that will help you to boost your SNAP score. And all the very best for your exam. We are rooting for you and we really hope to see some of you on campus soon. Thank you so much.